what's going on, man? Welcome to Streets, Beatz Peace, the show that explores the very necessary gun violence prevention work being done across the city of Chicago in hopes of healing our communities. I'm Big Boss Bodil, and this is a new show to try and enlighten people on the work that we do on the front end. I was born and raised in those same communities that we work in. I caused a lot of harm, hurt, and trauma in those communities, so I feel like it's my job, duty, and obligations to try and help some of the people that's following those same steps and trying to right some of my wrongs. And my co-host,
my name is Rodney Phillips, aka Hot Rod, aka the Professor. You know, I come from the low end of Chicago. I've been doing violence prevention work since 2008.
Both me and Bo are a part of the Metropolitan Peace Initiatives, also known as MPI. MPI is a division of Metropolitan Family Services, which coordinates, supports, and sustains a coalition of 13 community organizations known as Communities Partnering for Peace, or CP4P. Our focus is gun violence prevention in 27 Chicago neighborhoods on the west, south, and north sides. We go as far west as Austin, as far south as Riverdale, and as far north as Rogers Park. Together we provide street outreach, behavioral health services, workforce readiness, legal aid, and organizational development, and the Metropolitan Peace Academy. The Metropolitan Peace Academy is our multidisciplinary training platform designed to professionalize and strengthen the fields of street outreach and community violence intervention.
And we got a very special guest here today, but before we get to that guest, we're about to get into some hot topics. I want to talk about these teen trends going on because first off, I want to congratulate you on your promotion, in the crisis response unit. Could you explain to some of the people what that is and what you do?
Okay,
I'm the Associate Director of the Crisis Prevention and Response Unit, also known as CPRU. Our main focus is to reduce arrests and victimizations in Chicago. CPRU was created in response to the recent teen trends we were seeing throughout the summer months. The unit consists of me, 2 field managers, and 25 outreach workers from various CP4P organizations that works together to stop the gun violence in Chicago.
Okay, now look, I hear a lot of people talking about these kids. You actually FaceTime me while you was down there. And it seemed like a beehive, man. I've heard about some of the outreach workers being maced and tased down there. They said this was a real dangerous job. How dangerous is it, and what make you want to really get out there and jump in the middle of that fire trying to put it out?
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's dangerous, but for us that do the work, we come from these same communities with these kids. And sad as it is, it's normal to us. So these are our children and we passionate about it. But what made me want to really tackle this effort here is I get to interact and be direct with the kids and build a relationship with the teens who really had the pulse of the streets.
Okay. All right, now listen. WBEZ recently released a report stating that as of August 31st, Chicago murders are down 21.3% during the first 8 months compared to 2021. You might recall that 2021 was a year when the city had its worst gun violence in a quarter century. It should be noted, however, that murders during the first 8 months of this year is only down 7% compared to the first 8 months of 2022. What are some of the reasons you think that is?
That the murders are down?
Yeah, that they are down.
So,
that they only down 7%.
So, in 2021, we was rebounding from the COVID situation, and the COVID was something that we never had. So, that's why I believe it was an uptick. But now that we have collaborated, we have federal funding involved, city and local funds, more people are giving us more resources. So I believe the numbers are trending down because we're able to get more boots on the ground and provide resources with the high-risk and at-risk youth.
Okay. All right, well, we don't want to hold too much time on there because we want to get to our first host, our host of the day, which is Tio Hardiman. So let's get our host in here. Now let's get to our guest of the day, man. All right, today we got my brother, Tio Hardiman. He serves as president and CEO of Violence Interrupters, which is an organization focused on high-level gang mediation and putting a halt to retaliations. Now this brother right here, he ain't new to this work at all. In 1999, he joined the violence prevention program Ceasefire with a vision of reducing shootings and killings around the city. He created the Violence Interrupters in 2004, and his efforts have since grown into a model that's been replicated across Chicago, cities throughout Illinois, and the nation, as well as the country around the world. Let's give you your credit, you know what I'm saying?
Appreciate you.
Man, Tio is here today to talk to us about the ins and the outs of street outreach work. What's up, bro? Welcome to Streets, Beatz Peace, man. Thanks for joining us, my brother.
No, it's an honor to be here. I'm doing pretty good.
Man, I appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
So first off, let's start off with what exactly is outreach work?
Well,
Give the
outreach
masses,
work-
tell them what outreach work is.
Well, outreach work is really young men and women that have street credibility, people that have a license to operate, that can work in the community with the high-risk individuals out there, people that have a street pass. It's all about personal relationships when you're trying to help people out, mediate conflicts, help people become productive members of society. Oftentimes, we hire ex-offenders, people that had past street life, that know some of the young guys out there on the streets in order to intercept whispers to get in and stop a potential killer. So outreach work is really, a lot of times people think it's just street outreach, but there's a science behind it. It's a public health model. We have to change the way people think, because when you're raised in a particular environment, your thought process can be kind of warped somewhat, right? So you need people that used to be a part of that environment to come back because they redeem themselves and kind of detox from all that misinformation. Then they come back and help the next generation coming up.
Okay. So tell us about boots on the ground. You just talked about the science. What's the strategy of the boots on the ground method?
Well, the boots on the ground method is really knowing the individuals, the key players out there on the streets, where you can go in there and talk with them, man, and get them on the positive page, man. That's what it's all about. But it's hard to it's important to have the right people on the ground. Because if you don't have a relationship with them young guys, because of my experience, the only way to really stop a killing is you need to have a personal relationship with that killer. If you don't have that personal relationship, I don't care what program you have, the training is really, really important because you want to take a person to the next level, but it all comes down to personal relationships. So boots on the ground is really getting your feet planted in that community in which you serve in and working with them guys on a daily basis, helping them out in all different areas of their lives. Okay, that's very, very important when it comes to boots on the ground.
Hey, Tio, I know you've been doing this work over 20 years. You've been in all types of situations and stuff. But just maybe get an audience a clear example of one time you had to get ahead of a conflict and how you mediated.
I have a good one for you all, right? I had a guy that was released from Cook County Prison about 2 months ago. The day he got out of prison, he shot the block up. He didn't hit nobody, he shot the whole block up. He wanted his block back. Okay, and this is what happened. A mother called me because her 2 sons, they were in the room loading their guns up to go and retaliate against this guy, right? So I got the call. I had my violence interrupters to meet me on that particular block on the west side. So we talked to the 2 sons. They told me that they were actually sending their money to the county, but the guy said he never got the money. That's why he shot the block up, right? And this guy was in straight up mode, right? His mouth was written. He had the thing locked in his hand, sitting in the car. I go talk to him. I didn't even know the guy. He knew of me, but I didn't know him like that. My other guy did know him though. So that's what we talking about, boots on the ground, right people. So to fast track it here, the guys informed us they was sending him money through his brother and his girlfriend, but his girlfriend was coming on the block with another guy. Okay, he didn't know this, so I had to go deliver this information to the guy in the car. And I said, look man, your brother was getting your money. They say they sent you the money. And he said, all right, let me call my brother. He called his brother, Bo Deal, I promise, this is real time. And he said, man, what happened to my money? He said, man, I was gonna give it to you when you got out. That's what his brother told him. And he said, man, he hung up the phone on him. Man, he's mad again. So this time he called his girl. I promise you, this is a true story. Hey baby, what's going on? You bring another guy on the block. Remember, he shot the block up the day he got out of the Cook County jail. He didn't have a chance to check in with nobody, but he got his pistol. So he called his girl, and a guy got on the phone and said, I'm with your woman, you know what time it is. my man almost had a heart attack, man. And I didn't know he was about to shoot me or not. You know? He's like, hey, man. But anyway, to make a long story short, we mediated the conflict, and I believe we saved some lives because the guy that shot the block up had killed somebody before. So you talking about boots on the ground. That was a direct story about boots on the ground. We knew the people. The mother called me. The sons listened to me. He listened to me. But the reality, man, he went through some really emotional stress at that point.
All right, listen, okay, I know you've been doing this work a long time.
Yeah.
You the godfather of this work here.
No doubt.
All right, what are some of the tactics that we see today being used that wasn't even thought about back when you first started?
Well, to be honest with you all, ceasefire is like the laboratory, right? Dr. Garrett Slucken, the whole team we actually came up with all the policies dealing with the police, but we don't really like share information with the police, but we have a relationship with the police.
Right.
We laid that law down years ago. And what I did, all praises due to God, right? And the spirit of our ancestors and forefathers, what I did is I laid down sort of like a street policy with outreach work, whereas we don't mention people's names. We don't mention the gang names because it's all about, like I said, relationships. So therefore the guys know this about you, so they trust you when you're working with them. So the only thing that I see now that's a little different, I really don't see much. I just think the model evolved. That's one, because the hospital program, we started the hospital program, right? I was one of the first guys that sent people to the hospital. People don't know that, right? When I created the Violence and Brothers in 2004, I made a prediction in the Chicago Sun-Times that we would have a 25% reduction in homicides, which we did. Not taking all the credit for it, we was able to bring together all the gang chiefs here in Chicago: Latino, Mexican, African American, Willie Lloyd, King Shorty, Freeman. I'm just giving them their props right now. Melvin Haywood, some of the Latino brothers, Spanish Cobras, the Latin King brother. I mean, some of everybody. I'm just mentioning it on the podcast now, but God allowed us to bring the right brothers to the table. So I don't know if that's happening now like it used to happen, because we had more like a headquarters for it. But I believe it's happening as far as in the different communities, though, with overseeing some of the programs. But the model evolved. I don't see nothing really nothing new other than the fact that you have more training modules now. Because we dealing. Okay, matter of fact, I put it like this: dealing with more of the root causes of violence. That has changed because you're talking about structural trauma. And see, a lot of times people don't want to address the trauma because we're grown. We look like we have it all together, but a lot of us are struggling on the inside of our minds.
Fact.
That may have changed.
I did. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. So what you say to people that say CVI is not working and don't work fast enough, and this ain't nothing but hug a thug programs, and your critics who believe that how do you get people who once was a part of the violence to stop violence? They believe that that's just a cover.
Now, before he answer that, let the people who may not know what CVI is, let them know what that means.
Community violence intervention.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you're gonna always have critics, okay? Now, one thing about CVI work is often an opportunity for ex-offenders to turn their lives around and transform themselves. That's stopping killings right there. Because when I used to run ceasefire, we hired over 300 ex-offenders, man. I hired a lot of guys that had violence in their background. So with that being said, so it works really just on the strength of you helping ex-offenders become productive members of society. Now some of the brothers that used to work for us and some of the young women, they're their PhDs now. They're helping a lot of people. They're raising millions of dollars to hire more individuals that come from the street. Like that's number one. And number two, we only had a 6% recidivism rate when we hired ex-offenders that had a violent past. 6%. Most corporations have a turnaround rate sometimes as well. So we can compete with anybody in the CVI arena when it comes down to it. So for the critics, I think that not just because I'm in the field, I know it works. The reason I created the Violence and Interruptions is because people don't know this. I reversed a hit on my own life to create Violence and Interruptions. I wasn't even involved in too much. And my brother owed some people some money, $5,000 high ride, and my brother was in jail at the time, and the guys rode up on me in a car, man. I had my suit and tie going to me with a briefcase, and I couldn't run. It has nothing to do with being no tough man stuff. It's just I was committed to walking where I was walking. I ain't did nothing to nobody. And so they rode up on me. And they, hey man, my man's brother, this and that, to make a long story short, I had to get them guys to the table, man. I'm not paying my brother's debt, man. I'm not doing that. And so they were some go-getters though. So the point is, it worked for me personally. That's the reason why I know it works. Now you're gonna have some people that might try to fake it to make it, and that's a small percentage of the people in the work. They might just be working just to get a check, but most of the people are sincere about the work.
I agree totally. I let people know, like I'm somebody who a 6-time convicted felon, been to the penitentiary 3 times, to the Audi home, juvenile detention centers and everything. And for me to change my life and change others' lives, it definitely works. You know what I'm saying? One thing that what do you say to the people who, whenever someone may commit a crime or something that's a part of this violence prevention field, they may make a mistake. They try and blow it up and put it in the headlines and everything. And let's not forget, every organization and every job have people that do that. You got corrupt police officers and corrupt, but does that make the whole force bad? What do you say about the people who look at it like, oh, those guys don't do nothing but go back to jail and blow it up?
Well, like I said before, we only had like a 6 or 7% recidivism rate. And then I can speak for myself in that, in regards to what you just asked me. I took a downfall about 10 years ago, right? But when the truth came out, basically, I was cool. Everything turned out okay when the smoke was cleared. But the reality is I took a downfall, and then I was kind of undecided. You all might laugh at this. I didn't even want to get back in the field, but I couldn't give it up because I created a lot of this stuff, right? I was about to become a truck driver. And I went to truck driving school for a minute. And when I say a minute, 2 days, right? And they told me to bag the truck. I couldn't even back the truck up. I'm just being honest with you. Right. So the reality is that with far as the critics, you're going to have people that fall off. That just happens with whoever it might be, whatever company, Walmart, Amazon. You're going to have some workers that might steal something, a small percentage, but for the most part, a lot of people are doing pretty good for themselves.
I agree.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine you driving a truck.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
No, but I wanted to get off the scene because the higher you go in the media, if you ever go through any type of, adverse, experiences, like heavy as the crown. And so, I got smashed in the media before, but I was able to come back because I had a lot of backbone and fortitude. I ran for governor, actually, and secured 28% of the state vote after I went through my adversity.
See, and I love this field because it's all about being restorative. I believe that everybody should be given the opportunity to right some of those wrongs, man. You know what I'm saying? So somebody took a chance on you and let you back in and believed in you, and look at you now.
Yeah, I never gave up.
Right.
I never gave up. And Rodney was one of the brothers, too, that helped me get back in the game. I just want to be honest with you, right? Because Metropolitan Family Services, not because I'm on your podcast, but the truth is the truth. Metropolitan helped me get right back into the thick of everything. I never left. Right. But they helped me get it to that next level again.
Because see, what a lot of people don't understand, this is the truth, Rodney. Yeah. We got a lot of people doing violence prevention work, but not getting paid. You know what I'm saying? Because before I was came over to MPI, I was doing it for free on my platform and didn't even know what it was that I was doing, just trying to save some people. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. And that's what it's about, man. So I love seeing brothers come together, man, for a positive cause, man.
Yes, indeed.
I just like to say this. You spoke on how I helped you get back in, but you helped me. And we talk about being restorative. I was one of the brothers. I was one of the guys that needed a second chance, that relapsed in the work. And so the work is, like you said, at the end of the day, not only we helping our community, but you helping individuals who could be out there committing crimes or doing things. Just help them change their thinking, then they influences the people around them. And I just seen it come full circle myself.
Appreciate it, but everything outreach is based on, like I said, a public health approach. It's based on science. It's not just street outreach, okay? It's all about, educating young men and women how they can take a higher role, because blessed are the peacemakers in reality. A lot of us become angry at different situations in life, but we have to be the message that we bring. We cannot go out here and be hypocritical. If you say that you're going to be, for the peace movement, then that's what you should stand by. You cannot serve two masters, bro. Nobody can do that.
I agree. What message do you have for some of these organizations who they call it gang bang? I just saw this earlier. That's why I was talking about gang banging in the field. Organizations fight with each other over this money and things of that nature. When in reality, if we all just work together, we really make a change.
Yeah, the gang banging that goes on with violence prevention organizations, it needs to stop immediately, because the reality is enough money out there for everybody to get a piece of the funding, in other words, in a positive way. Right. So it really just needs to stop. See, you cannot outreach has an appearance that is dealing with gangs. That's one component of it, right? Dealing with street brothers. But the other components, we have to raise the bar. If you really are a peacemaker, you're going to work to achieve peace no matter what. Because there shouldn't be no egos in the game. If you can save one life, you've done a lot. And my thing, I would tell any violence prevention organization, when you got them people saying they working with them young guys out there, have them to produce the young guys they working with. If guys saying that they mediating conflicts with people, have them to produce the guys they mediating conflict with. Don't just go listen to what they saying, because when you make money, you can talk a good game. Put your little graphs and charts together and give a good presentation. But what about boots on the ground, like you was asking me about? Have them to produce the people they say they working with.
Man, that's dope, man. Hey, let me tell you something, man. The knowledge that we gained from this interview, man, was incredible. As always, as we knew it would be. Like, you was the first person that Rodney said he wanted to have on that, man. So, man, we want to thank Tio Hardiman, man, President and CEO of the Violence Interrupters, for dropping by Streets, Beatz, and Peace today. Let the people know what you got coming up, what you doing, man, where they can follow you at. Whatever you want the people to know, let them know now, man.
Well, I also serve as an adjunct professor in restorative justice, criminal justice, right? And I have my Mr. Ceasefire comic book here, for young people between the ages of 8 and 13 years old. It's all about resolving conflicts on the front end, reaching out to like a violence interrupter, if you get into some type of problem. And then my book should be coming soon. It's titled Interrupted Gun Violence, the Public Health Approaches. The story of the violence interrupters, really, and how we address it on the world level. And God has blessed me. I've been in sessions with Queen Noor from Jordan, Prime Minister David Cameron. I've met with people all across the United States and across the world, and I continue to just push for peace.
Man, we appreciate you, man. Everybody go out and get that comic book. I ain't gonna let y'all know, but he got behind him. He brought us a bunch of comic books, so we got our own. We're gonna be reading it, and we'll let y'all know what's to it, man. So until next time, man, we appreciate you, man. It was my pleasure to have you here, man.
No doubt.
And man, we're gonna continue following you, man, and continue supporting what it is that you do.
Yes, sir.
Man, it felt real good to hear from Tio today, man. What you think about the interview?
Man, I think it was great. I think he was real knowledgeable. He gave us some in-depth things on how the work go from a professional way in a scientific route.
Hey, what I didn't know was you helped him get back in the field.
Oh yeah, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of the guys turned their back on the brother, and they try to blackball him out the industry. But for me, man, if we talk about we in this work, we gotta be restorative and redemption all around the board.
That's what's up, man. One thing that you do, and I hear this from a lot of people, man, you one of those brothers, man, that stand for the people. We got a lot of people who just not good human beings, man. We talk about that all the time, man. You one of the people that see the good in the bad people, because like you say, everybody is bad for a reason. So we need to get to the root of the problem, which is why we do the work. You know what I'm saying? We quick to judge people off of what they're doing, but not trying to understand why they're doing what it is that they're doing,
Man, in the case of Tio Hardiman, and like just the work itself, man, this is, everybody deserves a second chance. None of us is perfect. And all of us come from, we dealing with our own traumas, marginalized communities, things of that. So how could one point the finger at the other or judge?
No, for sure. No, I wasn't saying like in T.O. because T.O. a good brother. Like, what
I was saying is that's how it was with him as he spoke on his situation. How 10 years ago he had the incident in the media.
Right.
And but I didn't understand, how could a brother do so much and then he make one mistake and then he just shut out? That would really motivate me to help him out.
And you had something similar, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people turned their backs on you as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was in the work, then I relapsed, but then a few good people believed in me and I was able to get back on track. But that's the beauty of this work. That's what draws me to it. I love to see people who fall down but get back up and then help others.
Right, so for you to fall down and relapse, right? Come back to outreach worker, move up to a field manager, move up to a senior field manager of field operations, and then jump to an assistant director, man. That's something big. You really like a a face for redemption and change, man?
You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, I had a lot of help along the way. I had a lot of people that did believe in me, but ain't no man or woman is an island. And you know, I like to thank some of the people that helped me along the way. Like, to be honest, like MPI saved my life. You know, got people like Vanessa, Vaughn. Then along the way, I had people like Tio and a brother such as yourself. You know, like with you, you know, I bounce ideas off you, tell you what I think, what I'm trying to do, and you will be there just to assist me. You know, sometimes talk me off the cliff, to be honest.
That's because we all, you know, we all human, man, and I see the good in you, and I'm proud of the changes that you made. That's why when we was called upon to do this podcast, it was something that I didn't think twice on when you asked me. I said, whatever you need from me, my brother, I got you, because I know it's a lot of people that's going through what we went through. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people that fought those same struggles and had to face those same demons, man. And we like examples to show people that you can do good, man. So, you know, that's a beautiful thing, man. And I'm just looking forward to what's to come, you know, because we got a lot of informative interviews coming up, man, with a lot of different people from the music industry, from the streets, from the field of work that it is that we do and everything, man. So, man, hey, y'all in for some treats, man, with Streets, Beatz, and Peace, you know?
If you want to ask any questions on future episodes of Streets, Beatz, and Peace, click on the link in the show notes to record your questions in a voicemail.
Yeah, we want to thank Tio Hardiman for joining us on Streets, Beatz, and Peace, and of course our listeners. Until next time, it's your man Big Boss Bodil.
I'm Rodney Phillips. We'll see you next episode. We'll be talking about a day in the life of the outreach worker. Until next time, y'all take care.
Peace.